A low, resonant hum erupted from the harmonic geode in my hand, vibrating with an intensity that startled me. The air in the dusty archive seemed to thicken, filled with a sound that was both ancient and strangely mechanical. Sheriff Brody, who had been scrutinizing the old map, froze, his broad shoulders tensing. He turned to me, his weathered face a mask of disbelief and alarm, his eyes fixed on the pulsating crystal. As the geode's hum intensified, a distant, familiar sound began to synchronize with it, the deep, sonorous chiming of the town square clock. Each reverberation from the crystal traveled up my arm, a strange, tingling sensation that was both unnerving in its power and eerily familiar, as if it were a forgotten echo from my past. It was a connection I couldn't explain, yet undeniably felt. Brody took an involuntary step back, his eyes darting between the glowing geode and my face. "What in God's name is that thing, Abigail?" he demanded, his voice low and strained, barely above a whisper. The pragmatic sheriff, a man who dealt with facts and tangible evidence, was clearly struggling to process the impossible spectacle unfolding before him, his usual composure completely shattered. As the final, lingering chime of the town clock faded into the heavy silence, the harmonic geode's intense vibration abruptly ceased. The soft glow receded, leaving the crystal inert and ordinary once more. The sudden quiet that followed was more jarring than the sound itself, a stark absence that left us both in a heavy, uncertain stillness, the air thick with unspoken questions. Without a word, I opened my grandfather's journal, flipping directly to a specific page I remembered seeing. I showed Brody a meticulously drawn diagram, the harmonic geode connected by intricate lines of force to a detailed sketch of the town's imposing clock tower. I think they're connected," I explained, my voice barely above a whisper, the pieces of the puzzle beginning to click into place. Brody studied the journal intently, his skepticism warring visibly with the undeniable evidence before him. His brow furrowed deeper as he absorbed the diagram. "The clock tower?" he murmured, a note of disbelief in his voice. "It's been closed for maintenance for years." His tone, however, suggested he was beginning to suspect the official story was nothing more than a carefully constructed lie. Driven by a shared, unspoken urgency, we left the quiet archive, stepping out into the muted afternoon light of the town square. The Havenwood clock tower loomed over us, its ancient stone face impassive, yet now imbued with a new, unsettling significance. I felt an undeniable pull towards it, a sense that the answers I desperately sought, and perhaps even the truth behind my grandfather's death, lay hidden within its formidable stone walls. As we approached the tower's base, a sharp, authoritative voice cut through the quiet. "Sheriff, Miss Thorne, that area is restricted." Mayor Caldwell stood there, blocking our path, his arms crossed tightly over his chest, his expression like granite, his presence an immediate and unwelcome barrier to our investigation. Brody stepped forward, his voice firm despite the mayor's intimidating presence. "Mayor, we have reason to believe there's something in this tower we need to see." Caldwell's eyes narrowed, his gaze chilling. "The only thing in there is a faulty mechanism and a risk of collapse," he retorted coldly, his dismissal clearly a thinly veiled attempt to conceal the truth. I stepped past Brody, confronting Caldwell directly, my voice unwavering. "My grandfather's research suggests otherwise, Mayor." For a fleeting second, Caldwell's carefully constructed composure cracked. A flicker of anger, perhaps even fear, sparked in his eyes before his stern facade returned. Arthur Thorne meddled in things he did not understand, he warned, his voice low and menacing. I suggest you don't repeat his mistakes. Brody and I regrouped at the town's only diner, the air thick with unspoken tension after our confrontation with Caldwell. He's hiding something significant, Abigail, Brody stated, stirring his coffee slowly, his gaze distant. I've upheld his authority for years, but this is fundamentally different, and it feels dangerous. His resolve hardened, solidifying our reluctant alliance against the mayor's concealed agenda. A vivid memory surfaced then, a whisper from my childhood. I was a small child, my hand enveloped by my grandfather Arthur's larger, comforting one, as we stood before the imposing clock tower. Some machines do more than just keep time, Abby, Arthur had mused, his eyes reflecting a profound blend of wonder and underlying fear. Some of them, you see, keep an entire town in a delicate balance. Back in the present, I meticulously pored over Arthur's journal once more, searching for any overlooked detail that might illuminate his cryptic words. My fingers traced the faded ink, page after page, until I discovered a small, almost imperceptible annotation on a hand-drawn town map. It referenced a service conduit discreetly located behind the old bakery, perilously close to the clock tower's very foundation. A secret entrance. That night, under the cloak of a moonless sky, Brody and I rendezvoused at the designated spot behind the dilapidated bakery. He knelt, grunting with effort, as he pried open a heavily rusted grate, revealing a dark, foreboding narrow passage beneath. "After you, Abigail," he murmured, his voice low and cautious, as his powerful flashlight beam cut a stark path through the impenetrable gloom ahead. The tunnel was undeniably cramped, its air thick with the oppressive smell of damp earth and an unsettling, faint tang of ozone. It snaked downwards, leading us directly into the cold, stone base of the colossal clock tower. Here, the atmosphere felt acutely charged, an almost palpable electrical current that caused the fine hairs on my arms to stand up in an instinctive shiver of unease. Inside the tower's core, our flashlights revealed a sight far beyond mere gears and cogs. Instead, we discovered a vast, intricate lattice of crystalline conduits, eerily similar in structure to the Harmonic Geode I carried, meticulously woven through the clock's conventional machinery. They pulsed with a faint, mesmerizing internal light, casting an otherworldly glow upon the ancient stone. The Harmonic Geode, still nestled securely in my coat pocket, began to hum softly once more, a low, resonant vibration. The sound, almost imperceptible at first, became a quiet yet insistent guide, growing steadily stronger as we ascended a winding metal staircase. It pulled us inexorably upwards, towards the very heart of the main, colossal mechanism. Brody, his flashlight beam sweeping across the glowing crystalline conduits, finally articulated the profound realization dawning on both of us. "This isn't merely a clock, Abigail," he declared, his voice hushed with genuine awe, betraying his pragmatic nature. "It's some kind of engine, but what in the world does it actually do?" Near the very heart of the colossal mechanism, where the crystalline lattice converged most densely, we discovered a sophisticated control panel. It was seamlessly set into the ancient stone wall, covered entirely in the same unfamiliar, intricate symbols I had seen meticulously sketched within Arthur's journal. Its alien design unequivocally suggested a non-human origin, adding another layer of apprehension to our intrigue. I instinctively traced the strange symbols with my fingertips, a sudden jolt of recognition passing through me. I recognized a distinct sequence from a particularly complex equation I had encountered in Arthur's journal, a pattern I'd previously dismissed as mere theoretical scribblings. It was clearly a startup sequence, I realized, but it evidently required a specific power source to activate, a key. My gaze fell upon the central panel, its intricate etchings now clearer in the dim light. There, precisely at its heart, was a perfectly shaped indentation, smooth and almost inviting. A sudden, profound realization struck me with the force of a physical blow. My eyes widened as I instinctively reached into my coat pocket, pulling out the Harmonic Geode. It was an exact, undeniable match, a key crafted for this very lock. "Abigail, wait," Sheriff Brody warned, his voice a low rumble of concern as he placed a heavy, reassuring hand on my shoulder. "We don't know what this will do, what forces we might unleash." I looked from his weathered, worried face to the ancient, waiting panel, feeling a surge of my grandfather's own relentless curiosity. "Neither did my grandfather, Arthur," I replied, my voice firm despite the tremor of anticipation in my chest. But he knew he had to try. Taking a deep, steadying breath, I ignored Brody's apprehension and the gnawing doubt in my own mind. This felt like a preordained moment, a direct continuation of Arthur's work. With a deliberate motion, I pressed the Harmonic Geode firmly into the perfectly shaped indentation. It clicked into place with a soft, resonant sound that echoed through the vast chamber. Instantly, the entire space was flooded with a brilliant, ethereal blue light emanating from the conduits embedded within the walls. A deep, powerful thrumming sound began to vibrate through the very floor beneath our feet, far more intense and resonant than anything we had heard before. The ancient symbols etched into the central panel ignited with an internal, pulsing light, glowing with an otherworldly energy. The air around us crackled, heavy with an almost palpable force, making the hairs on my arms stand on end. The immense, hidden machine within the clock tower was undeniably, terrifyingly coming to life. The overwhelming hum of the awakening machine was suddenly, violently interrupted. A loud, piercing siren blared through the tower, its sound echoing off the stone walls and assaulting our ears. Immediately, harsh red lights began to flash frantically, casting frantic, dancing shadows that distorted the familiar shapes around us. We had not only activated my grandfather's device, but had also inadvertently triggered a silent, long-dormant alarm system. From the entrance far below, the same passageway we had used to ascend, we heard a sudden burst of frantic shouting. The sound was muffled but unmistakably urgent. Then, with a terrifying groan of stressed metal, a heavy, reinforced metal door began to grind its way down from the ceiling. It was sealing off the only way out, cutting off our escape route with chilling finality. As the massive door continued its slow, inexorable descent, Mayor Coldwell's furious voice echoed, amplified and distorted from the other side of the closing barrier. "You have no idea what you've done," he bellowed, his words laced with a desperate, seething rage. "You've jeopardized everything we've worked to protect." His words confirmed our worst fears. He was not only aware of this place, but was actively trying to trap us within it. With a deafening clang that reverberated through our bones, the heavy door slammed shut, sealing us completely within the active chamber. The red alarm light ceased, plunging us back into the pulsing, ethereal blue glow of the now fully operational machine. Sheriff Brody, his face set in grim determination, drew his service weapon, aiming it squarely at the impenetrable sealed exit. I, however, stared at the pulsing Harmonic Geode, the true heart of the machine, realizing with a sickening lurch that we hadn't found an answer, but had instead activated a much bigger, far more dangerous problem. Es momento de la trivia. Te haré 2 preguntas sobre la historia que acabas de escuchar. Piensa bien las respuestas y déjalas en los comentarios. Pregunta número 1. ¿Qué objeto crucial insertó Abigail en el panel de control para activar la máquina de la torre? Tómate tu tiempo para pensar. Pregunta número 2. ¿Qué acción tomó el alcalde Caldwell para intentar detener a Abigail y al sheriff Brody en la torre del reloj? Esas son las 2 preguntas de nuestra trivia. No olvides dejar tus respuestas en los comentarios. Me encanta leer lo que piensan sobre las historias.
Si te gustó el video, pon me gusta, suscríbete y activa la campanita para no perderte la próxima parte.